This is a podcast all about ethics, all about how to use your ethical knowledge to help you pass your ACCA SBR exam. My name is Tom Clendon, and I am an ACCA SBR online lecturer. I help students pass their SBR exams through my podcasts and also through my tuition courses, my revision courses, and my mock exams. What we're talking about today is ethics. And the reason we're talking about that is because it always comes up in the exam. Question number 2 of the ACCA SBR exam will always have an ethical dimension. So you've got to know your 5 pillars. You've got to know the IFAC code of ethical practice, because we want to be an ACCA member and we're all bound by that code. Now, the 5 pillars I remember by the mnemonic OPPIC, OPPIC. To be ethical, you need to be objective, independent. You need to have professional competence, due care and attention. You need to know what you're able to do. You need to be up to date. Professional behaviour, which is a catch-all. It's a bit like professional sportsmen not bringing their profession into disrepute. I stands for integrity, honesty, and C stands for confidentiality. This you know, at least I hope you do. But you're never going to be asked directly to list out those pillars. You're never going to be asked to discuss in an abstract way or an academic way whether those pillars are good or bad or anything like that. No. The way that ethics are examined is in context, in a practical accounting scenario. And therefore, to that extent, when you begin to look at question 2, or when you begin to answer the question 2, do the accounting first. Sort out the accounting treatment, sort out the correct thing to be doing, and then you can begin to think about the ethical implications of what is going on. So, for example, in many questions, what's happening is an incorrect accounting treatment is being proposed. Now, it may be that a related party transaction is being ignored, or somehow a revenue figure is being misstated. Now, my first reaction is that when I come across an error, is to say it's unethical, because professional competence is a key pillar of ethical behaviour. If mistakes are being made, it shows a lack of competence, and that is unethical. But if the question goes on to suggest that the company is struggling to hit a profit target, or putting numbers together to support a bank loan and the numbers don't quite add up in the right way, there might be an inference that maybe these mistakes are not innocent. Maybe these mistakes are not born out of ignorance. Maybe these mistakes are deliberate, creative accounting, attempts to boost the profits to hit the profit target, attempts to manipulate the cash flow budget so we can secure the loan, attempts to take liabilities off balance sheet so the gearing covenant isn't breached. If there's a hint of this, you've got to say, hang on a minute, what could be going on here is deliberate manipulation, creative accounting, and that is a much more serious breach of ethical behaviour, because it's deliberate, because it's a breach of integrity and honesty, and it goes to the heart of professional behaviour. It goes to the heart of ethics, that we should be truthful, that we should be honest. So it needs to be called out. Other clues that I've seen, or other scenarios that I've seen, potentially revolve around sort of the bullying or the bribery aspect of life. Now, I wouldn't expect to see the word bullying. I wouldn't expect to see the word bribery in the case study. But if somebody is threatened with a sack, if they don't change an accounting figure, if somebody is offered promotion, if they do change an accounting figure, to me, this is, code for bullying and bribery. And that is not professional behavior. And professional behavior is one of the key pillars of ethical behavior. We've always got to link the question. We've always got to link the accounting scenario back to the ethical pillars if we're going to get our professional marks. Now, talking of professional marks in ethics, another essential thing to do is to give advice. You're not only diagnosing the problem, you're not only describing the problem and justifying why it's unethical behavior, but you've then got to depart some constructive courses of action. When you go to the doctor doesn't just diagnose you. The doctor doesn't just tell you what is wrong with your health. The doctor will also prescribe you a drug, or tell you to lose weight, or tell you to, stop drinking, or whatever it is. And so in our answers to ethical dilemma questions in question 2, we need to trot out some of the standard sorts of advice that people who are facing an ethical dilemma should do. What should they do? Well, first of all, I think they should raise it with their line manager. I think they should discuss it in a professional way. There are areas which are grey. There are different areas of interpretation. And it's perfectly acceptable for professional accountants to agree to disagree. And that's not wrong. But that's not normally going to be enough in this situation. So you've really got to say, get advice. Get independent advice. Is there a non-executive director? Is there an auditor? Or do you have to go to ACCA? Do you have to go to your professional body? Get advice. Yeah, that is a key thing that someone in an ethical dilemma should be told to do. And the other thing to throw in, but right at the end, is to consider resignation. And the reason why somebody in an ethical dilemma should consider resignation is if they can't find a way out of it, they don't want to stay there for another year or two, because that then becomes a stain on their professional integrity. Because if you know something is wrong, you don't do anything about it, you become a party to that unethical behavior. So ethics is interesting. It's certainly something that traditionally is done reasonably well by students. And so it may be part of your examination strategy to think about doing question 2 first. You should really aim to do your best question first. You don't have to do question 1, then question 2, then question 3, then question 4. It's open to you to do question 2 first if you want to. But if you are doing question 2 first, you can't dive into the ethical angle first of all. Because I've said the ethics is always examined in context, so you've got to deal with the accounting issues, in that first way. So look, there's a limit to listening to me talking about ethics. You've got to get out there. You've got to go and have a look on the ACCA website at some question 2s. You've got to tackle them. You've got to write out your answer, or type out your answer, I should say, on the ACCA practice platform, and then sit back and review it. It is coming up in every exam. So this is a surefire thing that you want to spend a bit of time on. Thank you very much for listening, and good luck.